All right, so this next one actually looks like it might be connected to a story that I recently heard of, just from the thumbnail that I saw. But I have no idea. You know, again, if this is your first video of ours that you've seen, we do not watch these trailers before we do the live stream. So, have you seen this? Like, can you see the thumbnail? Do you have any idea of this? Do you know the story that I'm thinking of? Okay, so I'm not sure. I don't really know anything, but I can say that it looks like a survival style, like one of those like natural disaster survival movies. So let's check it out. We are watching the trailer for The Action Pack Needs You. You can support Mike's After Action Reviews on our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Every quarter, once we've made at least $200, we're going to be giving away 10% of our earnings from Patreon in a giveaway over on our Twitch, so go check that out as well. You can find all of the links for everything in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Do your part. Support the pack. The Action Pack. Society of the Snow. Official trailer, Netflix. Coming at us from Netflix. We're going to like the video. I haven't seen this. I got to figure out what that story is about this Matt Rife guy. Okay, Surviving was a group effort. See, it's survival. A movie from Juan Antonio Bayona about one of the most remarkable stories of the 20th century and selected to represent Spain at the Oscars 2024 is coming to select theaters in December and to Netflix on January 4th. So probably when it says select theaters, that's like in Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's going to be around us, but it'll definitely be on Netflix on the 4th. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't know for sure, but did you know that there was a... So I think this is about the Spanish team. I think it was Spain. Yeah, Spain had like there was some soccer team that was going over the Andes Mountains in an airplane. And maybe it was maybe I'm saying Spain because it said Spain and now my mind is like fixated on that. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. This team was going of soccer players, and I don't think they were even the Olympics, or maybe they were the Olympics. I don't know. They were some soccer team, and the plane crashed. And they had to survive the only way that they could, and they had no food. And there were dead bodies around. So things happened.
That's going.
Yeah, and I recently just saw a YouTube video on the mortuary. Oh my God, I can't remember the name. It's like something mortician. She's a really great YouTuber. I listen to her story. She talks about different natural disasters like this. But anyway, so it might be that. It might not be. So I'm not going to dwell too much on this. But anything else you want to say? Anything you want to say about any of that before we get going?
No.
All right. We're going to find out. Let's check it out. So we got a 2-minute, 42-second trailer. Are you ready?
Always ready.
I love my awesome Support the Troops Stormtrooper mug. Do you know where you can get a mug just like this one, but different? Bottega Krua. Bottega Krua is an Italian born and raised artisan trained at the Academy of Fine Arts in Venice, Italy. Since 2010, Bottega Krua has offered unique handmade and hand-painted ceramics, pottery, and other artistic products. You can find these products at her Etsy store by following the link down below. She also takes custom orders, but they may take longer to ship because she has to make them after you order them. So, go check out Bottega Krua to get yourself an awesome mug just like this one or the ones you've been seeing behind me as this ad has been going on. Remember guys, supporting our partners is supporting the pack, the Action Pack. Here we go. Let me just see. Okay. Is it a soccer team? It's a soccer team, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Based on a true story, okay? Okay, any idea where it's the Andes Mountains? Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's what it is. First of all, I just want to tell you guys just to give the shout out because to give credit where it's due. So Caitlin Dowdy is the name of the YouTube channel. You can also find her by searching Ask a Mortician. Okay? And she tells the story in great detail. And I don't know how much it's going to get into here, but if it doesn't get too much into it, I'll give some of the details as far as what she talks about. Okay, so talks about in her video about this, but let's move forward because I think this, yeah. You can't see the plane. So they stopped looking for these guys. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. Yep, that's what had happened. Yeah, I want to see this now, just because. I want to see this now, just simply because, like, I already saw that video from Ask a Mortician, and then now, like, a movie's coming out. Oh, that's so cool! What a coincidence!
Vos tenés las mejores piernas del equipo.
Okay.
Tenés que caminar por los demás.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So they get trapped in the plane. So it's not going to get too much into it. I'll kind of let it play through here. Yeah, this is awesome. So in the original, like, they even brought their families. And there was a woman that was there with them who was like a mom, and she was a nurse. And then one of them was a med school student who played on the soccer team. Yeah. See, it's going to say it's graphic nudity because it's probably going to show you what happens with some of these people. They describe it. So these guys got crash landed. I won't tell you the whole story because I don't want to spoil it, but these guys crash landed basically. And they found a radio, and they were able to make the radio so that way they could hear when people, they were able to hear but could not call. So they heard when the search was canceled. But, like, did you see that part? There's a part here where you see, like, a big snow drift, like an avalanche hitting them. At one point, they got trapped under. Actually, the plane got hit with an avalanche and they got trapped under the snow. And what they actually started doing, so people were really badly injured. Like, people were cut open. One person was actually cut open and his intestines spilled out. And and one of them was a med student, so he was actually able to do some stuff to keep these people alive, some of them alive, but some of them did die. And so what they did is they would draw lots, and they would randomly go out. They would select people, and they would go out, and these few people that were selected would pick from the dead bodies, cut pieces of the dead bodies off, and not tell anybody who they were eating, and then they would eat them. And at one point they had to eat this older woman, and they said that it was not like the people were saying, if I die, eat me, please eat me, because you guys are going to die without us. And they were not rescued. They were not rescued because the rescue was called off. They were not rescued. Typically, in typical fashion, it's like there's a plane that comes over, it sees them. That did not happen. They actually have like a very interesting way that they got out of this situation, and they did survive. And when they were caught, like they didn't try to hide it either. When they were caught, when they finally do get, when the remaining survivors do get out of this situation, they were asked immediately, like, you guys have been gone for so long. How are you not, like, how did you survive? And they told them, like, we ate the dead, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I love movies like this if they're done right. I know it's going to be in with subtitles, and the subtitles is hard for me because I have a problem with hearing. I have a problem with my vision. Like, so I can't see or I'm going deaf and blind. No, I have a problem with my hearing, so I have to like hear it and also read at the same time to be able to really get it. And so if I only read it, it's going to be harder for me. But I'll still watch this. This looks good. What do you think?
I'm the opposite. I'm not much into having to read it, but this seems like a pretty good story.
Yeah.
So it would be pretty good to watch.
Right. Yeah. So, the subtitle, like, well, I mean, this, like I said, the subtitles are harder for me too to get really into, but, yeah. Like, let's go down to the comments. Maybe I'm going to try to avoid spoilers because I imagine that the comment section is going to have some spoilers here, but let's see what the comments have to say here. Okay, Society of Snow is the first accurate film about the 1972 plane crash. It tells everyone's real names and stories and has a fully Uruguayan, Argentinian cast. Oh, that's right, because it was Argentinian. That's what it is. Excuse me. Survivors and families of the deceased were consulted throughout the filming. That's great. It was filmed in the real locations. That's awesome. It is an extraordinary film.
Insane.
Yeah, and a respectful tribute. More of the film's protagonist is Numa Turcati, who's featured on Alive, so the two movies are very different. The survivors call Alive the Disney version of the story, as has a lot of inaccuracies. So apparently Alive is another movie that it's about. I saw a documentary about this and what the last movie left out. It appears this movie shows, which is just how far the two guys walked to get help. They climbed mountains with no gear, no food, and walked for an insane amount of miles. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to avoid like the spoiler parts that they talk about, but yeah. I'm so happy they remade this because it looks more in depth than what the survivors told their story as well. They have more input in this movie compared to the first one. Can't wait. So, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I always make a little bit of a joke when it talks, because people say, oh, let's, I like watching these. Let's, like do a little thought experiment. What would you do to survive and all that stuff? I'm going to tell you right now, I always make a little bit of a joke and say that if we were to crash on a desert island or in, in the woods or something, I would immediately leave. Like you would not see me. It would be like, oh, where did he go? We don't know where he is, because I would. And I'm saying it as a joke, but actually it's true. The safest thing is I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna wait for everybody else to basically to die off, and then I'm gonna come and I'm gonna eat the bodies, because I'm. It's a joke. It's a joke. That probably wouldn't be exactly what I would do, but I'm just pointing out. The point here is that like if you're in a plane. And the pilot says, we are going down, okay? And you look out of the plane and you're over a mountain range or a giant forest in Canada. No matter what happens, like, you have got to be ready. Like, you might as well immediately start preparing yourself for the fact, like, I'm going to have to eat someone. I'm going to have to deal with somebody getting decapitated and loss of limbs and everything. Like, you were going to be going through some stuff. So, anyway. Yeah, that's my story on that. We've got 3 minutes and 40 seconds before the next ad break. Anything you want to say about this movie? Because otherwise I'm going to start the ad break early.
Yeah, it looks very interesting. It definitely be interesting to hear this story.
Yeah. Have you ever been like mountain climbing or hiking or anything?
Not really, other than from when I was in Washington.
Okay. I would say that it's probably would be a really interesting, I don't know, like if you've ever gone mountain climbing or hiking and you just kind of go out there in the middle, and even in areas that are popular areas for people to go hiking and stuff, and then just kind of like, let's say you get a couple hours into it and you're on a hill or something, and just kind of turn back and look back towards society and realize how far you are out there, how, like, you are so secluded. If anything were to happen, you've got to be ready to do whatever is necessary to get home. That's why I said, like, I don't want to eat anybody. I don't want to leave people to die so that way I can, but I'm just saying, as a joke in the thought experiment, I always just say, like, look, you got to be, like, how do I explain it? Evil, what you would consider, like, evil and moral and ethical, you might as well wipe that away when we get into, like, real survival stuff here. So, anyway, so
you could survive on me for a little while.
Yeah, that's good. Like, listen, Tommy boy, you got to take one for the team here. No. Well, what people used to do, like in medieval times. So, like the Jewish people. I never thought about this until I heard this, because I studied a little bit of kind of like the laws of the Jewish religion, and one of the laws that they had is that you could not, for people, if they conquered a people or stuff, you had to obey these laws. Okay. One of them was like you had to have a religion. You didn't have to be Jewish, but you had to have some kind of religion. Okay, and there was a bunch of them. One of them, though, was that you could not butcher an animal and leave it alive and only eat a limb. So when they would say butcher, that means like if I were to cut the leg off of a cow, there's no refrigeration, So
Yeah.
I'm like imagining, like, if you're out in the woods and we're like seriously straight up stuck, like imagine if it was just like you, your wife, and your kids, and you got injured, maybe you broke your back, and so you say to your family, cut off one of my legs and eat it. Like, man, oh, God, are you going to be ready for that? Even if you couldn't feel it, imagine what it would be like for your wife, with the help of your children, to break your leg and then saw it off. Oh. Anyway, we got to go. We got the now we've gone through with the time. So we got the ad break. Ad break is coming up in about 40 seconds, so we're going to go to ad break now, and we're going to finish up. We're going to continue on with the trailer, so we'll see you guys after these short messages. Don't forget to check me out on Twitch and join the Discord, where you can voice chat with me while I live stream, and you won't be recorded or anything on YouTube and Twitch, so that's pretty cool. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. If you like to read, you can see my after-action reports on my blog. And if you are interested, you can get some merch from my spring store. The links for everything are in the description below.